Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another pickups video. It's been a bit since I've done one of these, a couple of months, and in that time I've got quite a bit, so lots to get to in this video. So let's dive right in. I'll go ahead and start with something basic. Actually, this just came in the mail a couple of days ago. But I bought a couple of, I've been buying Christmas gifts online for my family, and in the process of doing so, getting a couple of games for my nephews for Christmas. I saw that Best Buy had a really good deal on this particular game, so I decided to grab it, and that is Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is the Cosmic Edition, whatever that means. I'm not entirely sure. Cosmic Edition also includes the Galactic Prestige Collection, which I guess is maybe custom weapons in the game or something. Anyway, was dirt cheap, so I decided to grab it. And yeah, that should be fun. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and transition to something that I got through, I believe it was Limited Run Games who sent this. And this is one that I was excited about, because it's a game that we never, if I remember correctly, we never got this in the US, or if we did, it was a very limited print run back in the day, but I want to say we didn't get it, and it's sort of reached cult status. But it was an NES game from Sunsoft, I believe. Gimmick. Yeah, Sunsoft. Sunsoft Masterclass in action platforming finally bursts onto current platforms, enriched with achievements, gameplay assist features, and modern extras. Yeah, so this is one that I remember hearing about. I don't remember hearing about it during the time that it would have been out, but I remember hearing about it years later through emulation and all this other stuff. You know, just about how good this game supposedly was. And now I can't find my where did my cutter go? Uh-oh, there it is. Yeah, so this is one that that kind of gained a reputation during the early emulation days as, wow, this is an awesome game that we never got in North America. And so definitely one that I've wanted to experience legitimately. So there's the front. There's the back. Oh, very nice. There's the inside with, of course, the instruction manual that looks very much like a NES style or Game Boy style manual. What is a gimmick? Oh, that's fun. Little claymation kind of look there. Nice. Yeah. Always love these little manuals. And this has a reversible cover, which I don't remember if this got a European release or not, but this very much looks like the kind of box art we would have received in the West had this come our way. It would not have been a super accurate representation of the character, but not completely off the mark either. I actually think I might switch this around just for grins, because I sort of dig this somewhat garish classic art look. Yeah, we'll go with that. Definitely like that style. So, looking forward to giving that one a go. Okay, on to some stuff I picked up while I was out. I did some game hunting. Guess it's been about a month ago, maybe, and a little over a month ago. Went to one of the game stores I like to go to, and then also went to the both of the Goodwills and the pawn shop, and surprisingly picked up a few things that I didn't have. So we'll start on the original PlayStation, and filled a few holes in the collection. Got a couple things that I didn't have already, and so we got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear for the original PlayStation, and Rainbow Six Lone Wolf. So kind of slowly acquiring all the Tom Clancy games. Also got Spec Ops Stealth Patrol, Spec Ops Airborne Commando, and Spec Ops Covert Assault. So now I think I have all the Spec Ops games, all 5 for the original PlayStation, which is crazy to think about. And then I believe I've got all of the Rainbow Six games now for the original PlayStation. I'll have to double check that, but I don't recall there being any more. For the PlayStation 3, I saw this at one of the game stores, and they wanted a little bit more for it than I wanted to pay. Then later that day, I saw it at GameStop, because GameStop has started to retail older consoles again, and so they had it for much cheaper than what the other store had it, so I decided to snag it, and that is Time Crisis Raising Storm. And the cool thing about this is that this is the one that has Time Crisis 4 and Dead Storm Pirates included. And so I have been looking for this release for quite some time, and one of the cool things about this is that this should be playable with the PlayStation Move controllers. I've played Dead Storm Pirates. There's a fun center about 70 miles south of where I live that has an arcade, and it's not an amazing arcade. Most of what they have is either feature cabs or redemption games and stuff like that, or this new trend of mobile games getting turned into arcade games, which is weird to me, but they have a dad cab. It's an, what is it? Not iCade, but something like that. It's basically a MAME cab, pre-packaged with a bunch of older games that I play when I go there. But a buddy and I went there a few years back, and put some money into the Dead Storm Pirates machine. And when I took my brother and niece and nephews there last year or the year before, I don't remember. But one of my nephews and I sat down and played Dead Storm Pirates, and we had a lot of fun with it. So that is definitely one that that I wanted to have. So glad to snag that. I already have this on the Wii U, but I picked it up anyway, Scribblenauts Unmasked, because this is a very clean copy, and it is in better shape than what my original copy was. This also has the manual and the little DLC card with it, which my copy did not have. So this will be a bit of an upgrade of my copy that I have now. On the PlayStation 4, also picked up a couple of things from GameStop and Goodwill. So we got Borderlands 3. So I finally have a copy of that. I got Darksiders 3. Call of Duty World War II. And this is timely because I've been playing Call of Duty 3 on the original Xbox after having played Call of Duty 2. So I'm kind of working my way through the World War II games in the series. I really enjoy the games of that period. The early Call of Duty stuff, the Medal of Honor stuff, the World War II focused stuff, because I have an interest in World War II. Both of my grandfathers served, and so this will be an interesting one to go back to and play in comparison to those early games, when the mechanics were still kind of in development, I will say. And then Destiny, which I don't even know if this is going to be playable, but it's a couple bucks at Goodwill. Moving on, I picked up some stuff at the pawn shop, and basically just a few of these NCAA football games, because college football is literally the only sport that I have an interest in, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll try and see if I can find all of these NCAA football games that were out on the PS2. And so I got 2002, 2004, 2005, and 07. They had copies of 03 and 06, but both were beat up and were not complete. And of course, unless I find a game at Goodwill that is rare or what have you, generally I'm not going to pick it up unless it is complete. This one, unfortunately, is a bit more beat up too. The manual on this one is taken some heavy water damage, so I maybe should have put this one back. Yeah, this manual is basically trash. But these games at the pawn shop are always dirt cheap, so I'm not going to complain too much. Moving on to some stuff I got at the game store. We'll start here with some Xbox. So I picked up Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers. This is one that I didn't have. Once again, in keeping with the shooters I've been playing, first-person shooters and similar stuff. We got Prisoner of War, which is another interesting one. This is, I guess you're supposed to be escaping a German camp during World War II. So this one should be a different perspective on that. Xbox version of Time Splitters 2. And then moving on to the 360, I think this was a pawn shop, or this was another, yeah, pawn shop find. Table tennis, which is of course a Rockstar Games title. No, I guess this was another thrift store. Yeah, this was another thrift store I went to. I picked up Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for 360. And then this was a fun little find. This is BioShock the Ultimate Rapture Edition. So this has BioShock with bonus content, BioShock 2, and bonus content for that. And so this is a pretty cool little set. I've already played through BioShock and BioShock 2 on the 360, but this is a pretty neat set, so I thought, it was cheap, I'll pick it up. I also picked up, I don't know why I grabbed two, but I think because one's Platinum Hits and one's not. The Goodwill had 2 copies of this, of Sonic Free Riders. So here is the Platinum Hits version, and then there's the standard version. So, don't know if I'll play these or not, but why not? And then at the game store while I was there, I also grabbed Hyper 3D Pinball for the Sega Saturn. So I think at this point I now have all of the North American Sega Saturn pinball games. I'll have to double check, but I think that's right. So, kind of a fun little subset. Another item that I got at Goodwill that I couldn't pass up was this. Now, it's in the box wrong. It's sort of backwards, but right now it's all taped up, and so if I want to take all this tape off and not completely destroy the box, I'll have to be very careful. So I'm going to have to finagle my way and probably, do the running the hot water in the bathroom with the door closed thing to generate some steam and loosen this all up. But this is essentially a bootleg game. It says 76,000 in 1. And so here's the back that has all the stuff on there. Of course, the controllers on the back here are red, but it's a really bad looking N64 Trident type controller and a Sega Genesis 6 button pad that looks more like a 3 button pad with 2 rows of buttons. And that's basically what you've got here, but I mean, this looks very, very bootleg. And it is very bootleg. Like the NES, the connection from the controllers to the TV is it's like the NES. It's the red and yellow. So it's literally just composite video and mono audio. Super joystick and power gun. And so, anyway, this might be a fun one to pull out and do a weekend stream. Just sort of let's check out all these bad games. And of course, you can tell that this is pretty bootleg because you've got you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul here on the front. And there's no way that this is licensed by any stretch. But it's the original new edition. So I'm guessing this is literally just a collection of ROMs. All on this this thing. The pictures on the back make it look like these games are incredible FMV type of games, but I'm sure it's just, you know, 3,000 variations of a couple dozen Famicom games and maybe some Super NES and Sega Genesis games. So we'll see what it is when I finally de-tape the box and get this out of here. But yeah, this I couldn't pass this up. This was, I think this was like $10. As soon as I saw it on the shelf, I thought, oh, that's totally bootleg. I have to have it. And yeah, that's pretty much the size of it. All right, moving on. I'll go ahead and show off these next. I picked up some controllers from Retro Fighters because they were doing a Halloween BOGO sale. So, because it was a Halloween BOGO sale, they were literally only doing BOGO on Halloween-themed controllers, which meant orange and purple controllers were on sale. So, that's what I got. So I got 2 of these orange Blade GC controllers, which are the GameCube. Unfortunately, this one kind of got damaged. I don't know if that was during shipping. Probably, because the way they packaged these was kind of stupid. But yeah, that one got kind of banged up. Hopefully just the box. And then this one here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and open this because I would like to verify that it's not damaged beyond repair. But I assume that it is just the box. But this is a wireless gamepad for the Nintendo GameCube, third party, of course. And yeah, the pad's fine. So we've got a USB-C cable for charging. And we've got the receiver for the GameCube, very similar to a Wavebird style receiver. And there's also this nice little USB receiver. So I could use it with PC, probably with the Mister. Here's my little quick start guide. And here's the pad itself. And yeah, it looks pretty good. These always feel pretty good. Of course, the joysticks have the little what do you call it? The gate, if you will, similar to what the GameCube has. But they feel pretty good. And of course, it has the GameCube style buttons on the sides there. Yeah. So this should be interesting to play with. Oh, I'm hitting buttons and it's trying to connect to a receiver that's not there. So anyway, this should be interesting to mess with and sort of experiment with. And you know, I've got a what, 3 Wavebirds already, I think. But it is nice to have options, and this at least gives me the ability to help preserve my Wavebirds. So, and it'll also be interesting to compare the Wavebirds and these controllers. You know, I don't think anything is going to quite stack up to a Nintendo first-party controller, but these should still be fun to use and mess around with. And I should have brought the other pad in here because I've already unboxed one of these Brawler pads. But these are the Brawler 64. I almost bought the green slime wireless N64 pad a while back. But now I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because when the BOGO sale came up and they had these, I thought this was a perfect opportunity to get a pair of these pads. So we have this really nice translucent purple controller that, again, with the gate, which was kind of the thing for the N64 and GameCube. But really, it really feels nice. I am not a fan of the N64 Trident controller. And so this this should be fun to use, and more fun, I think, than the N64 controller itself. I do like the fact that it has the two triggers, but they're both a Z. Excuse me, because of the N64, the way that it works. It does have this really nice translucent purple receiver that plugs into the console, and of course there's space for a memory card or a memory pack. USB-C cable for charging, and there's this fun little keychain which looks like a character from a retro brawler type of game, you know, NES or that era kind of side-scrolling beat 'em up. So that's kind of a fun little addition. And then it does have the little quick start instruction guide here. So, yeah. No receiver on this for use with a USB of any kind. So I'm guessing this is more purpose built for N64 than anything else. But yeah, I've already got one unboxed that I have charged and ready to go for testing out and messing around with the N64, because I finally did hook my N64 back up to my setup. I hadn't had an N64 connected in my gaming setup for quite some time, but I moved my TV and gaming setup in the living room. I sort of moved it from one wall to the adjacent wall, and in the process of moving, I did make a couple of changes, and finally got the N64 out. So that is now something that I will probably actually play here in the not too distant future. Let's see, moving on. Let's go to something that I backed on Kickstarter, and that is a new Legend of Zelda style game for NES called Save the Queen. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, and that is kind of a bit of a wordplay pun, if you will. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is from Yukahu Games. So, as with most of the other recent NES Kickstarter style games, Nice glossy box. There's the front, the back. Got the logo there on the top and on the sides. And you can see it has the official homebrew seal. So I saw this on Kickstarter. I thought this might be fun, you know, Legend of Zelda style game. So I figured give it a whirl. It does have the styrofoam in there, which of course you have to have. So here's the manual. You can see from Yukahu Games. And there's your controller layout page. Some strategy advice. Fighting enemies. Focus on your combat skills. Your character will grow in strength and capabilities as you find heart and magic units and different weapons. Always good advice. And then a guide to the different weapons in the game. Oh, there's a hook shot. So, yeah, very Legend of Zelda. But this one should be interesting. And then here is the cartridge itself. This one, I think, might make a fun weekend stream kind of thing. So there's the front of the cart. The top of the label there. And then on the back, this cartridge works on both PAL and NTSC systems. And it was published by Broke Studios, who I think is running a couple of other Kickstarter campaigns right now for different things. We'll go ahead and slip this back in the plastic for the moment. But yeah, always fun to see new games for old consoles coming out. And I don't back a lot of them, but every once in a while one catches my eye and I decide to throw a few bucks at it. Also came with the little Broke Studio coaster, if you will, and an advertisement that they have for some other stuff, which of course includes oh, there's also this little sticker, which also includes a couple of games that I was already familiar with, such as The Cursed Knight, which I backed on Kickstarter already. So what do we have here? Pelusa Saga for the NES, which looks promising. Super Tilt Bro. Traumatarium for the Game Boy, which I think is sort of an adventure game. It says roguelike dungeon crawler. Inspector Waffles and The Fallen Crown are apparently in development, available next year. The Cursed Knight, of course. Arkagus Revolution, which is an interesting Sega Genesis top-down kind of tank shooter that uses software rotation that would be similar to the rotation capabilities that the Super NES can do in hardware. Poppy Commando for the Sega Genesis, which is kind of an overhead run and gun. Then you've got Nebs and Debs, which is a NES and Famicom platformer. Micromages. Twin Dragons. Lizard, which I already have. L'Abbé de Mort, which is an action platformer. Oh, Locomolito. There you go. Nordle, which is a word game. Tapeworm Disco Puzzle. Flea, which I remember seeing. Boss Def, another platformer. Project Blue, which I'm actually curious about. Super Bat Puncher. Yeah, so anyway, looks like they've got lots of cool stuff that they've done. So yeah, Save the Queen should be a fun one to explore. I wanna move on to something that my podcast co-host sent me, and I'm very grateful for, because I've been on the lookout for this stuff for a while, and I haven't been able to find it, but that is some PlayStation Move stuff. So here is the PlayStation Move camera, and then here are a couple of the PlayStation Move wands. I still don't have the one that has the control stick on it, but I'm hoping that some of the games I have that are PS Move will work with just what I have here. And so, yeah, definitely looking forward to trying these out, because I've got probably a half dozen games or more now that support PlayStation Move controls. And I'd really like to be able to try them, but, you know, I haven't been able to now. Of course, including the Time Crisis pack that I showed earlier. And so many thanks to Addicted for those. He also sent a couple of games along. So we have, oh no, he sent a DVD or a Blu-ray along. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Oh boy, that should be interesting. But he also sent this Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So this is the collection of the first 3 Mass Effect games in one, which will be great, because I played through Mass Effect on PlayStation 3 years ago, and then that PS3 Super Slim died. It will not boot. And so my save file for that game is, of course, inaccessible, because it is tied to that hardware. So it might be fun to go back and revisit. Oh, it looks like we have a broken couple of tabs in here. Yikes. But it's 2 discs. So you've got a play disc and a data disc. I'm assuming that data disc I'll have to put into install, but this will be good, because then I can revisit the first game. I think the Legendary Edition might clean up a little bit of the play, because I remember the vehicle segments in the first game being very awkward to control. So if this cleans that up a little bit, that'll be nice. And then I can go back and redo the first game and maybe take a different path. So, yeah, definitely glad to have that. Okay, moving on to another batch of games on another trip that I took, game hunting. And first of all, I'll show this off. Since I have the N64 out and I got those Brawler 64s, I also bought a memory pack. I have one of these somewhere, but I can't find it. I was looking through my closet that's behind my camera here, and I just can't find it. So I decided to pick up a new one. It was just a few bucks, so no big deal there. I grabbed some PSP games at one of the game stores that I don't go to very often, because I don't make it down to that town all that often. But Ratatouille, got a pretty good deal on Class of Heroes. That was the sticker price on it was higher than I wanted to pay, and I asked if they did any haggling. They said no, but he said he would do a price check on it. I said, yeah, because price charting is a lot less than what you're asking for it. And sure enough, they gave me a good deal on it. I got Major League Baseball 2K6. Didn't have that one for some reason. This is one that I was not familiar with, called Chameleon, a little puzzle game. So that should be interesting. I got Chess Master, The Art of Learning. I'm surprised I didn't have this one, but I didn't. And, you know, it's funny, it looks so simplistic looking at the pictures on the back here, but, I mean, it's chess, right? And then Gretzky, NHL. I do have one other Gretzky game, but it was a later release. So I think this was the first one. So anyway, still very slowly chipping away at the entire US PSP set. Got a couple of PS3 games. So we got Beyond Two Souls. Finally snagged a copy of that. And Demon's Souls. I know the PlayStation 5 remake is out, and that's probably the best way to play this game, but I don't have a PlayStation 5, and not sure if or when I'll be purchasing one. I don't have this console yet, but when Goodwill has this stuff for next to nothing, might as well pick it up. So I got The Division 2 for Xbox One. I had been thinking about picking up an Xbox Series X because it's fully backwards compatible from what I understand. And Xbox One games are typically cheap at the pawn shop, so I might do that at some point. I also grabbed Breakdown for the original Xbox, which I've been looking for, and I got motivated to pick this one up recently because I saw a retrospective on it on YouTube here recently. And it's kind of a first-person shooter, but it also has first-person melee and sort of beat-em-up combat. Very interesting combination, so I definitely wanted to grab that. Also got Dark Souls 2 for the 360, and another game I've been after for quite some time is Catherine. At some point I might grab the full body edition for the Switch if I can find it cheap somewhere, but at a minimum I thought, I'll grab the original and you know, mess around with that. Moving on, this is another item I just got in the mail the other day from Limited Run Games. And this is one that I pre-ordered. I don't remember if it was earlier this year or last year. But anyway, it is Rendering Ranger R2. This is a Super Nintendo game, as the box would indicate. And this was a game that was developed, I believe this was by Manfred Trenz, who did the Turrican, the early Turrican games. And this is kind of a continuation of that idea. But this was a Super Nintendo or Super Famicom game that was a late release. Didn't get that many copies. So original copies of the game for Super Famicom are horrifically expensive. And just very hard to come by. But much like Turrican, it is a sort of run and gun style game, but this one is more of a hybrid. It's run and gun mixed with a shmup, so it's sort of interchanges levels between run and gun and shoot 'em up levels. Pre-rendered graphics, very, very good looking graphics, honestly. And impressive gameplay. There's a little look at the manual there. And as with many of these, there's the little tray. With many of these games, these re-releases. You have these fun, different colored shells for the cartridges. So this one has this sort of smoke gray translucent look. And there's the top of the cart there. This one should be fun to explore. It's a pretty impressive game. I want to say on a variety stream I did not that long ago, a few months back maybe, I played this for a little bit on the Mister, and I think that was after I had already, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was after I had already pre-ordered this. Well, no, maybe that was Super Turrican. I take that back. I think that might have been Super Turrican or Super Turrican 2 that I played on the Mister. But yeah, Rendering Ranger R2 for the Super Nintendo. Definitely looking forward to plugging this in and giving this a try, because it's an impressive game for the hardware, and one that I think a lot of us probably figured we would never get to play outside of emulation. And to be able to do so legitimately on real hardware, not just through a flash cart, but through, you know, a real release, is kind of exciting. And last but certainly not least, something that I wasn't expecting to get, and something that I kind of slept on, and then didn't subsequently order the special edition or what have you at one point. But then when Strictly Limited Games was having a bit of a sale or blowout, I decided to buy, because they were doing some bundles. And so they were bundling together some Cotton stuff. And so I bought the PlayStation 4 release of Cotton Fantasy, which we'll go ahead and crack open. Let's show you everything here. Oh, this already has one of these. I always forget sometimes they have these little pull deals so that you can split the plastic more easily. So there's the front and back, prominently featuring Silk, the fairy. And then here's your manual and disc. And it looks like it does have reversible art. Oh, yeah. Oh. I think I'll stick with the original that's in here. But this came bundled with a couple of other items. One of them being a Cotton Nendoroid figure. I don't have. This is my first Nendoroid. I didn't have any others of these, but yeah, interesting little inclusion with a bundle like this. I don't think I'm going to open this yet, because I don't really have anywhere to put the figure itself. It is interesting that it includes two different faces for Cotton. The standard face and then the sort of flabbergasted face. But I will be displaying this on the shelf. There was also this. This is, of course, tied to the Superlative Night Dreams Cotton Fantasy, or Cotton Rock and Roll in Japan. And if I can manage to finagle this out of here. I have to break the packaging to do it, but it is a Cotton Fantasy teacup. So that's a fun little item. Probably wouldn't have bought that otherwise, but since it came in the bundle, I thought, why not? No reason not to get it when I did on special. So that's a fun little deal. And of course it has the little tea time on the back of the box there. And completely last but not least, I also bought, as part of the bundle, this ginormous Nintendo Switch limited collector edition of Cotton Fantasy. This is massive. This is now officially the largest box that I own for any single game. It's just ridiculous. But kind of fun at the same time. So let's see where I can cut into the plastic without nicking the box. Yeah, this will work. There we go. Go ahead and get all of this plastic off so you can see how glorious this is. And as with many of their collector and special editions now, there's the slipcover because they have to have the Nintendo Switch branding and all the legal stuff on the back. But then this is the actual collector box here. There's the back with cotton and silk. This game has been very highly praised, and I haven't dove in yet. Oh my goodness! Okay, so now I have a second of these Nendoroid figures. I didn't realize that that came in this box. So, I guess I have two of them. We have the inside of the box is fun. We've got cotton and silk with their little bubble helmets on so they can go out in space. We've got this fun little willow keychain. Looks like a little set of collector cards here of different characters in the game. So you've got Silk, Ruffy, Kawase, of course from the Umihara Kawase games, Ria, who I assume is a transplant from another game, probably maybe inspired from Psy Battler, or no, Cyvariar, I bet, because that's another Success title. Fine, or Fine, maybe? Takut, I think. Happily, of course, who was in Cotton 2, and then Cotton herself. And they all have just the little logo branding there on the back. So that's a fun little set of collector cards. Now the trick is going to be whether or not I can get these, the little slip cover back on. There we go. To sort of keep them together. We have this little gold collector coin with Cotton's head on it, and then the Cotton Fantasy logo on the back. Of course, we cannot have a collector edition proper without the soundtrack. And as per usual, I will be ripping this and getting that on the computer post-haste. So that will be showing up in the listing on my home media server very soon. And then it can go in the rotation when I'm driving or listening to music. When I'm not catching up on my podcast backlog, I can be listening to this and some of the other soundtracks I've purchased. So, always happy to have those. Got a couple of other stickers here. Got Cotton and Silk, and then a Cotton Fantasy sticker. And these are interesting. These are kind of see-through or translucent. We also have this art book, which looks really nice. They always put out pretty high quality stuff like this as part of their collector sets. This is a collector set that I probably would not have bought were it not on sale, because I typically don't buy the huge collector boxes. I typically try to go for only the special edition releases that are more of their mid-range. Okay, here we go. Cyberia, yes, from Cyvariar, and then Fine or Fine is from Sandvane, and then Takut, oh, is a boss character. Okay. Cool. Oh, there's a short little message from the developer in there. Oh wow, and then some different Cotton art over the years. Nice. Huh. There's Cotton with the Queen. The Fairyland or whatever it is. This Cotton art is so kawaii, as the kids say. And Silk holding on to the willow there. Cotton's not having it. So lots of fun little bits in here. So that'll be good to go through. We've got Certificate of Authenticity here, number 245 of 2000. So apparently this bundle did not sell extremely well, which is unfortunate, but I mean, these bundles aren't cheap for sure. And this very large poster, which I will attempt to unfold and show off. Okay, so we have the horizontal, I guess they're both horizontal, there's that. And then here's one that has Cotton, Silk, and Takut. So, don't know if I would put that one up or not. And of course, through all of this, you have the game itself. I can get the plastic off of here. That'll be fun to clean up off the floor later. So there's the front and back of the Switch version. And again, like the PS4, it does have the same reversible cover, essentially. Different form factor, of course. There's the Switch cart itself. And the little manual. So there's your character profiles. This one I think will be fun to play through with the different characters. Oh, and it does even have your controls. This one I think will be fun to play through. It's been very highly regarded, and with all these different characters, it seems like there's going to be something that will be for everyone in terms of play style. You know, there'll be a character that most anybody would be able to come to grips with and sort of hang with. So yeah, that is Cotton. Oh, I better put this certificate of authenticity in here. That is Cotton Fantasy, this gigantic special edition that, like I said, I probably wouldn't have purchased because they're a little expensive typically. But since they were doing a bundle sale on Cotton stuff specifically, I decided, since I hadn't picked up Cotton Fantasy yet, to sort of go a little hog wild. And I would certainly say that I have. But I am not disappointed, nor do I regret doing that, because I really enjoyed Cotton Reboot, which I know is just a kind of a retooling of the original game, but this game has been so well regarded that I think it'll be fun to play this one. So when this one comes up for the podcast, I'm definitely going to be diving in and enjoying this one. So anyway, that is everything that I've got to show off for the last 2 months. This will have been for October and November of 2023. I don't think I'll probably get enough during the month of December to have for December's pickups to have its own video, but that remains to be seen. I don't know yet. We shall see. So anyway, what do you think? I mean, of all the stuff that I got here over the last couple of months, you know, what would you play first? What stuff would you prioritize? How many of you out there had even heard of Save the Queen? And would you enjoy it? Is this something you think, as a Legend of Zelda style game, you would want to play? Or how many of you were aware of Rendering Ranger R2? And do you like Turrican style run and gun games that you would want to give this a shot? Let me know in the comments. How many of you were aware of the existence of the Power Player? And would you have picked it up for $10 at Goodwill if you saw it? Let me know. But yeah, if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing so you can see more of my videos in your YouTube feed. And as always, thank you for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.